everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing my second Halloween tutorial and I'm going to be showing you guys how I did this right here. I'm going to do like this peeling off skin kind of thing with like skeleton underneath. So if you want to see how I created this look, then make sure you keep watching. So to start off this makeup look, I'm going to draw out where I want to put the latex or the skin, I guess you can say. So I mapped that out with a nude eyeliner, and now I'm brushing on the latex with a brush that I don't care about because latex will literally ruin a brush. And now separating some tissue so that it's only one layer of tissue instead of two, and tearing it apart and adding it or putting it on top of that latex that I brushed on while it's still wet and tacky. So you'll see me add the latex and the tissue paper along that whole line that I mapped out. And once I put down the tissue paper, I am adding latex on top of it. And I'm doing this whole process about 4 or 5 more times and allowing it to dry maybe 45 seconds in between layers. Just a heads up, the side of my face that I am painting as a skull is my left side of the face, so it's going to be on the right side if you're watching this. So that's the side of the latex that I'm going to peel off, as you see me doing right now. So I'm peeling off that side so that it will imitate, my skin peeling off and the skull is being revealed underneath, if that makes sense. So I'm just peeling that off, making sure not to peel off the other side. And now I'm going to grab some scissors. I would recommend grabbing some smaller scissors actually, but I didn't have any. So this is just what I used, and I'm cutting it kind of messily, and I thought it was too long, so I'm kind of shortening the amount of skin, I guess you can say, that I have. So once I do that, I'm going to be doing the right side of my face how I normally would and just glam that side. So, adding foundation, I'm going to be doing my eyebrows, eyeshadow, contour, blush, and highlight. So make sure you also apply foundation to the tissue and the latex that is dried. So I'm just going to go through this quickly. I'm going to add a peachy pink shade in the crease and buffing it out, and then going in with a darker pink, going a little lower and blending it out. Now going in with a maroon, I'm going to add that on the outside V of my eyelid. And now you'll see me adding some black in that portion as well, just to define my eye. And I'm dragging it out to the tail of my eyebrow. And just blend and make sure everything is nice and seamless. Now adding a sort of white gold shade to the inner portion of my eye and blending it out as well. And adding some maroon to the bottom lash line and smudging it out and smoking it out. Also going to add some inner corner highlight and some eyeliner on the outer portion of my eye just to smudge it out and make it more smoky. Then I'm going to line the inside of my waterline, my tight line, and the contour, add some blush and highlight as well. Now moving on to the skull portion, I'm going to grab that nude eyeliner once again, and I'm just mapping out the hollows. So I'm feeling around my face, checking where my bones kind of hollow out. And now I'm going to be adding on some white face paint. So this face paint I used is from the brand Snazaroo. and I'm just painting that on, and I'm not going to paint it where I mapped out the hollows of my face, because if I do put black on top of that, it's just gonna kind of look gray. And now I'm using a beauty blender just to make sure it doesn't look streaky. So now moving on to some black face paint, where I did map out the hollows of my face, is where I'm going to shade that in. So this is also from the same brand, Snazaroo. So that includes, you know, the cheekbones, the temples of your face, and I'm going to add black around my eye and also my nose. One tip is to have a reference picture in front of you so that you can kind of look back and forth with your face and that picture. So I just looked up a human skull and kind of looked off that. And now you can see me here dragging that outer corner of the eye downward just for some added effect, and also kind of smudging out that inner top corner. I'm kind of doing the same to the temples, but not too dramatic. And now this is where you see me fill in my nose with that black face paint. And just adding some black eyeshadow on top. So now moving on to the teeth, this was probably the most time-consuming part. It really wasn't that hard, it was just a lot of going back and forth, but you see me just drawing lines, vertical lines, kind of where my actual teeth are. So, I mean, if you don't want to do this part, you can go ahead and just, you know, draw those vertical lines and call it a day, but I'm going to try and explain how I did the teeth on myself. So now I'm picking up an even smaller detailing brush and I'm lining the inside of my lips. And now I'm going to kind of add a point, I guess, on the bottoms of the bottom teeth and on the tops of the top teeth, so you can kind of see what I'm doing. And now, using a small flat brush, I'm going to go in with that white face paint once again and kind of reshade the front teeth and then shade in the back teeth. You can kind of see me dragging the white on the back teeth kind of back towards the hollow of my cheek. And now going back in with that small detail brush and the black face paint, I'm re-outlining the teeth. And I'm also dragging the back teeth's outline towards the hollow of the cheek, as you can see me doing right now. Now I'm kind of filling in what was still white that was in between the teeth, so you'll kind of see me shading in between the tops and the bottoms of the teeth. And the teeth were looking pretty square to me, so I decided to go in and kind of round them like real teeth would be. So you can see me kind of rounding out the teeth, kind of trying to make them more realistic looking. So you'll see after this step, the teeth just look way better and way more realistic. Now going once again back in with the white, I am filling in the front teeth and just making sure that they're nice and white and bright. And the back teeth, I'm kind of just going to highlight the most front portion, if that makes sense, because it is the back teeth and they're I want to make them look like they're more sunken into the face instead of them looking kind of 2D. So now you'll see me with a pencil brush and some black eyeshadow, kind of just filling in any areas that my skin were peeking through and kind of blending out where I filled in the tops and the bottoms of the teeth. So I'm also going in with some dark browns as well, just so it can blend into the white a little bit better. And I also did add white on top of that as well, just to make sure it looked nice and blended. So now I'm going to add some shadows on the skull. So I kind of just added it where, you know, there were some curves, so you'll see me add that shadow on top of the teeth part and then adding white on the bottom of the shadow. I hope I'm explaining that well enough, but if you watch me go back and forth between brushes, you know, one has white, one has black on it, so you'll kind of see how I am shadowing and highlighting. And now I decided to shade underneath my jaw, around the perimeter of my face, and on the nose with some black and some cool toned brown shadows. And I felt like the skull looked pretty plain, so I added some cracks on the bottom of where the chin is. So you'll see me just with the small detail brush kind of just adding some little lines. Now moving on to the latex skin kind of portion. So I'm adding a cool toned brown shadow messily along the skin, I guess you can call it, and I'm also adding some red shadows and some purple shadows just to imitate that my skin is very irritated and bruised, because, you know, the skin is supposed to be peeling off of your face. So you'll also see me add red shadows on that portion that is lifted up. And you'll see me go in with a shadow that is kind of my skin color to pack it on top of some of it, just so it can look like it's under the skin. And now for the last part, I'm going to be adding some scab blood, and I'm going to put that underneath the flap of the skin and a little bit on top as well. I recommend scab blood instead of regular sage blood because it won't drip. So this is the completed look. I really like how it turned out. I kind of, you know, winged it. So I'm actually really happy on how it turned out. And if you guys like it, make sure you give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye!